All the toiling a farmer goes through during the season is geared towards one result: a good harvest at the end of the season. In this message, we are going to learn about the things you should consider and practices you should observe during harvest. As explained in the message on record keeping, you should always remember to note down the date you planted, because every variety has its own maturity period. Therefore, noting down the date of planting will help you calculate the time when your groundnuts will be ready for harvest. You can even count the days and mark them on your calendar as a reminder. Varieties like Chinese are early maturing types and will take 100 days to reach maturity. Banieli and Nkatiesari are medium maturing types and will take about 110 days to mature, whereas F-Mix is a late maturing type and will take about 120 days to reach maturity. With this knowledge, you can begin making the necessary preparations for harvesting when the time is getting close. On the field, there are signs you should look out for that will confirm that your crops are reaching maturity. It is important to know that flowering in groundnuts is not uniform, so it is likely that you will have a mix of mature and immature pods at the end of the cropping cycle. Because groundnuts are formed underground, you need to be very careful in the timing of your harvest to avoid significant losses. Prior to maturity, the plant starts to lose their green color and the leaves turn yellow and begin to fall because the kernels need the plant's food supply for their own growth. Leaf fall, however, is not the best way to determine maturity. In detail, groundnuts are matured when 70 to 80% of the inside of the shells have dark markings and the kernels are plump with color characteristic of that variety. In determining pod maturity, you should verify that the pod is well filled and the inside wall is dark brown. Matured groundnuts are harvested by pulling or digging out the plant with the nuts attached. Dig a few plants up to see if the nuts are ready. The nuts should be brown on the outside, firm and dry. Usually at maturity, the inside of the pods is gray and some rattling occurs when the pods are shaken. If you harvest groundnuts before they are fully mature, the pods will contain shriveled kernels. If they are harvested too late, many pods will break off in the soil and never be found. Also, late harvesting results in non-dormant varieties sprouting in the field, resulting in yield losses. Severe diseases affecting the foliage sometimes results in harvesting before the seeds are fully mature. Premature harvesting reduces nut and oil quality and quantity, while delayed harvesting predisposes seeds to fungal infection, that is, aflatoxin infection, and also causes kernels to shrink during drying. Plants should be carefully dug out to avoid nuts breaking off and remaining in the ground. For proper practice, loosen the soil around the plants with a spade or garden fork before harvesting. Pull up the plants and shake the excess soil from the roots, leaving the pods attached. Check the soil to make sure you aren't leaving any pods behind. The plant should be turned upside down to expose the nuts if the pods cannot be stripped immediately. After harvesting, dry for about 2 to 3 days, then strip the pods from the pegs and place them on mats to dry for another 7 to 10 days to achieve a moisture content of about 10%. If you timed your date of planting properly according to the weather, calendar and maturity period of your variety, harvest should coincide with the end of the rainy season and dry conditions. This will give you very high quality grains, as rainy conditions at harvest cause pod rots, which reduces harvest quality. Remember, for a timely and good harvest, look for the signs we talked about and do not delay harvesting too long after you have observed these signs on your field. The next message will be on proper post-harvest handling, which will talk about the things you need to do to maintain high produce quality and get good market prices. Thank you.